Welcome. Today we're going to talk about parallel lines and transversals. We actually talked about it last time. We were talking about angle pairs, naming angle pairs like vertical angles, corresponding angles, alternate interior angles, and such. The main reason we actually really learn that is this simple concept that if we have two lines that are parallel, so let's look at these two black lines that are running along each other like railroad tracks, these parallel lines, and we have a third line that cuts across them. If the two lines are parallel, we really only have two angle measures that are in this diagram. So, what I mean by that is this. Let's just assume that one of these angles has an angle measure of, I don't know, that looks like about maybe 30 degrees. So let's say this is 30 degrees. If this angle right here is 30 degrees, we actually can know all the other 7 angles in this figure here because these two across from each other must be equivalent to 180 or sum up to 180 because they're a linear pair or supplementary. So this would have to be 150 degrees. So those two would add up to 180. We can use the same principle down here. In other words, these two have to add up to 180. So this one also has to be 150. And then doing the same principle this direction, if this is 150, this angle here has to be 30. Or we can remember that vertical angles happen to be congruent, and these two angles are vertical and these two angles are vertical. Now, this is true only if this line here is parallel to this line, but if they are parallel, then these 4 angles are these angles as well, correspondingly. So the smaller one obviously corresponds to the smaller one. This is a 30-degree angle. This one is a 150-degree angle. This one here is a 150-degree angle. And this one here is a 30-degree angle. So if you look through this pattern here, there's really only 2 angle measures, 30 and 150. And it kind of zigzags down. And that would be true no matter what lines were given, as long as the 2 lines are parallel. So if we looked over at these blue lines, if these 2 lines that are running next to each other are parallel, and we have this third line cutting across them, and we say, we know this one happens to be, say, 100 degrees, you know, they just give us one angle, we know all the others. That's a horrible 0, 100. Because, again, these two being supplementary, this one would have to be 80. This one would have to be 80. And then again, these two being supplemental, this one would have to be 100. Now, as long as these 2 lines are parallel, these 4 angles over here are the same as those. So this one would be 100. This one would be 80. This one would be 80. And this one would be 100. And so we only have those 2 different angle measures, 80 and 100, that kind of zigzag through here. If we looked at the red lines down here, with the red lines, again, the same principle holds as long as this line here is parallel to this line. We have a transversal. If this angle here was, I don't know what it looks like, maybe 120 degrees, then this one here would be 60 degrees, because 120 and 60 add up to 180. And then we can just zigzag down here, 60, 120, 120, 60, 60, and 120. So what you'll be doing today in today's homework, rather than trying to find out which ones are vertical, which ones are alternate interior, which ones are alternate exterior, so forth, all you're going to be doing is finding angle measure. So I want you to do I excel in the geometry, section D. I want you to do number 4, transversals of parallel lines, finding angle measure. And I'm going to show you how easy this lesson is actually. So right here, if I have these 2 lines being parallel, it says lines LN and IK are parallel, right? And then it gives us an angle measure, LMJ. So I'm going to come up here and find LMJ. That's this angle right here. And it says that angle measure is 126 degrees. I actually can find all the other angle measures because I can say this one's supplementary. So this, I'd have to figure out what adds to this to give me 180, or subtract 126 from 180. And that would give me, I believe, 54. And now I have all the both angle measures that work all the way through. So then I come over here and I look at, I want the measure of KJM. So I just got to find out which one that is. KJM. So I want this angle measure here. Well, that one's going to correspond to this one down here, which is 126. So this one must also be 126. So the angle measure is 126. So I come down in here and I type in 126. And again, if it helps, fill in all 8 angles, working your way down, and then look at the angle that they want you to do. And it's not going to get any harder than that. As you move up here, I'm going to jump all the way up to 81. It's the same thing. It says that if these 2 lines are parallel, XV and SU are parallel, it gives us STR. So I come over here, STR, that's this angle here. It says that measures 118. So now without even looking at which angle they want, I just say, all right, let's take 118 and minus that from 180. I get 62. So I know this one here is 62. This one here is 62. This one here is 118. And then again, if I needed to, I just come over here and write in those values, 62, 118, 62, and 118. And then I just go look to see which angle they want. They want angle UTR. So I find my U, I find my T and my R, UTR, that's this angle right here. That's a 62-degree angle. So I type in 62 degrees and I have got it up. So if you have any questions, please log on during my Canvas hours and I will definitely help you. And have a good day.